Everyone thinks they know this. Israel was created in 1948 by the UN out of guilt over the Holocaust, at the expense of the people already there. Every clause in that sentence is wrong, incomplete, or hides the part that matters. First, Israel was not created in 1948. It was reestablished, and that distinction is the entire argument. The word Jew comes from Judea. Jewish bones, coins, inscriptions, and ruins go back roughly 4,000 years in that ground. Islam arrived in the 7th century AD. An Aramean victory stele from the 9th century BC references the House of David. An Egyptian monument from around 1200 BC announces in granite that Israel is laid waste. The Arch of Titus stands in Rome today, showing Roman soldiers carrying the menorah out of the Jerusalem temple. Rome carved the theft into a monument because they were proud of it. And then Rome went further. After crushing the revolts, it renamed the province. Judea became Syria Palestina, named for the Philistines, the ancient enemies of Israel, chosen because the insult would sting. And the Philistines weren't Arab. A sea people, Aegean roots, out of Cyprus and Greece, already extinct for centuries when Rome dug up their name to use as a weapon. You do not erase a name that was never there. The word Palestine is a Roman eviction notice, and an eviction notice is proof of who lived in the house. Second, it wasn't guilt over the Holocaust. That version lets everyone off the hook, and Jews should be the first to reject it, because it makes Israel a consolation prize, which implies it can be taken back when the guilt runs out. The Zionist movement began in the 1880s. Jews were buying land, draining swamps, and dying of malaria decades before Hitler was born. Balfour was 1917. San Remo, 1920. The League of Nations Mandate, 1922. The rebuilding was well underway before anyone had heard of a gas chamber. What the Holocaust changed was not the claim. It was the argument about whether Jews could survive without one. For 60 years, Jews had debated whether a state was necessary or whether assimilation would work. The Holocaust ended that debate permanently. With a body count of 6 million. Third, and nobody tells you this, at the expense of the people already there, is only half the ledger. In the same decade, over 800,000 Jews were expelled from Arab and Muslim countries: Iraq, Yemen, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Syria. Not European settlers. Communities older than Islam itself. Baghdad was roughly a third Jewish. Jews had lived in Iraq for over 2,500 years. Some got 24 hours notice. Property seized. Bank accounts frozen. Citizenship revoked. Morocco went from about 265,000 Jews to roughly 2,000. Lebanon's community is now under 100 people. Those communities didn't shrink. They were ended. And it isn't an Israeli who calls this a moral collapse of the Arab world deserving an apology that never came. It's Mustafa Ezarghani, a Moroccan Muslim. Now put the two refugee populations side by side. This is where the truth lives. Same decade. Same region. Two displaced peoples, roughly comparable in number. Israel absorbed its 800,000 and made them citizens. Today they and their descendants are roughly half of Israel's Jewish population, meaning half of Israel's Jews are Middle Eastern people who were expelled from the Middle East. And the Arab world? The Arab League forbade its members from granting citizenship to Palestinians. Deliberately. Noni Darwish, daughter of the Egyptian Fedayeen commander in Gaza, states the purpose plainly: keep them refugees from birth to death, so the problem would never be solved. And it worked. Palestinian refugee status is the only one on earth you can inherit, second generation, third, fifth. People born in Amman today, holding Jordanian passports, who have never seen the village their great-grandfather left, and are still officially classified as refugees. Every other displaced person on earth, Syrian, Sudanese, Ukrainian, is handled by one UN agency whose entire purpose is to end refugee status. Palestinians get their own dedicated agency, whose function is to preserve it. 22 Arab states. Vast land. Vast oil money. The Sinai is empty desert. Jordan is majority Palestinian. There was room. There was money. There was no interest, Because a solved problem is a grievance you can no longer use. So here's the honest answer. Israel was not created because the world felt guilty, or because a committee drew a line on a map. It exists because of people who had been in that land for 3,000 years, who were evicted by an empire that renamed the place to erase them, who prayed toward the same city 3 times a day for 2 millennia, and said next year in Jerusalem at the end of every Passover, came home. And it survived because, in the same decade, the entire Middle East expelled its Jews, and there was exactly one door open on earth. So when someone says Israel shouldn't exist, make them finish the sentence. Because that sentence ends with 800,000 human beings standing at a border with nowhere to go. And the countries that expelled them are the same ones now demanding the door stay closed.